Well, good day, everyone, and welcome to Bulldog Volleyball edition of Extra Point. In the studio, head Bulldog Volleyball coach Katie Lovett and Hailey Anderson from Torrington, Wyoming. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're going to put Hailey on the spot in about 5 or 10 minutes. So you've got some time to ponder what questions I'm going to ask you. In the meantime, well, last time we were here, Katie, you were just about ready to embark on conference season, and that embarking on conference season hasn't been all that happy. 3 straight losses. Part of it is illness. Part of it is what?
I think a lot of it is just us underestimating our opponents and just maybe not necessarily not being ready to play, but I mean, with a Carroll game, I think us finally having crowds again and a lot of these girls being new, first experience in a gym with fans at a college level. So I think a lot of it was a little bit of shock and rust we had to get off. And then playing against Providence, they're a phenomenal team. And, every team in our conference is going to be a tough match. It's coin flip. Every single time you play them, it's, not necessarily who's the best prepared, but who's on that game.
Well, and you were talking about working the right formula as far as chemistry goes, who you have on the court. Is that a little more fine-tuned now with 3 conference matches under your belt?
I think so. I think with our team, like you said, we had a couple that had the flu last week, and then Katie Simeon kind of working her way back in from injury. We've had a few other girls kind of deal with injuries on and off, not as severe, but it's a lot of finding that right match, and I think that's a season-long thing. It's not necessarily something that is you have one thing and then you just stick with that the whole time. It's who's having a good game and who can really help us out with. Everybody has different assets, and that's been a big thing for us is even in our losses, we've had somebody really step up in every single game, but it's, having more than just one person step up.
Well, I wish I could say it's going to get easier for your next 2 matches, but it's not. You have Montana Tech ranked 19th in the country. You have Rocky Mountain College, perennial volleyball power. The only good thing about that is you've already seen both of them.
Correct.
You lost to Tech 3-1, but you beat Rocky 3-2.
Yes.
So how does all that figure in preparation for these 2 matches?
I mean, I think it's great that we got to see them before an actual conference game, just so that we can be a little bit more prepared, a little bit, know what they run in different scenarios, and who their main go-tos are. I think with Tech, they've got a phenomenal offense. That's something that they've really relied on all season long. So that's going to be a challenge for us. And with Rocky, it's kind of the flip side. They have a phenomenal defense. So it's going to be something where we're going to have to really be on our game to compete with them.
Well, and last weekend, wasn't it Tech at Rocky?
Yes.
And Rocky beat Tech 3-2.
Correct.
So any more insight, or is that just showing what you were talking about, the strength of the Frontier?
It's the strength of the Frontier. Everybody is, a phenomenal team. And, I challenge any other conference to put up as many good teams as we do, because everybody is a phenomenal asset to this conference.
So looking ahead, can Providence be beaten?
Yes, absolutely. I think any team can. The number 1 team in the country can be beaten. It's just a matter of making sure you address their weaknesses and really being on your A game that day. It's a matter of who's on and who's not.
Okay, well, we're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back and talk to Hailey Anderson, and we'll do it right after this. Okay, back to Extra Point now, and we are talking to Hailey Anderson, transferred into Montana Western from Casper Community College, and you're from Torrington, Wyoming.
Yep.
So I answered all the questions I was going to ask you.
Perfect. Interview done.
Except major. Psychology.
Yep.
So have you analyzed your team chemistry? Is it working? Have you conferred with your coach on the right combinations using your psychology?
Well, actually, we were talking about this the other day. I just think that like our energy is so good, and like we all get along so well on and off the court, and it's just one thing that I feel like is going to help us in the long run. Like later, like in the season, I think it's going to help us so much. But we get along super duper well.
Well, and it's interesting too because it's like Katie had the ingredients to a nice recipe, and then she reached into her back pocket and threw a whole bunch of extra ingredients in, and to have it work out that way,
Right.
you know, that's got to be pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, it's awesome. And volleyball is like one of those sports that you have to have good team chemistry. It's not like I was saying after one of our games, it's not like basketball where you could just give, the ball to one person and kind of hope that they, make the right play. You can have one that's like a really good offensive player and you can rely on them. But volleyball, I mean, you can't control that kind of stuff. So it's really good that we have good team chemistry because it makes it a lot easier to work together on the court.
Well, and with the amount of times each player touches the ball,
oh, yeah, absolutely.
and the different types of touches there are, that makes that communication even more so. Now, standing next to you, I'm guessing you're outside, right side, middle?
Yeah, I'm an outside.
So I have to ask a technical.
I'm actually libero.
Well, I thought all liberos were 5'4", but that's not always true. Yep. So technically, ladies, so we have a right side, an outside, an opposite side, a middle hitter. So those are 4 different hitters, basically. Or is it 4 different hitters or 4 different ways to describe one position?
It's like you can call like an outside, like I've heard some people call them like a left side or like an outside, and then you have like middle blockers, and then you have like your right side. But a lot of times you just call like your outside and your right side pin hitters because a lot of them are so versatile they can play like both sides if that makes sense. But
what about opposite hitter? I've seen
that's
rosters listed as an opposite.
That's they call opposites right side sometimes.
Okay. So what do you like about volleyball?
Everything.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer.
Yeah, there's not really one thing that I don't like about it. Like I said, I really love like the team aspect of it. I mean, everybody has to play their part. Everybody has to be on their A game. Everybody has to be ready to go at all times. But I think I like also like this. There's a strategic part about it, like where you're gonna put the ball, who you're gonna set the ball when they're hot, like that kind of stuff. But and then like the technical aspects of it, I love it.
It's a fascinating sport. I've learned a lot about from just saying this is a really boring sport to now I actually watch it on TV when I can. I really enjoy it. What about where do you want to be in 2 years when you're done with school? Sitting in an office with a white coat with a couch on the other side of you, or is it school psychology or what?
So I'm trying to make the decision if I want to be like a school psychologist, like in an elementary school, because I love kids. And then like with that, I'd like still be able to like coach and stuff because I would really love to coach. But then I also think it would be really cool to be like a sports psychologist thing because that's becoming more and more popular within like universities and stuff, like having a school psychologist or a sports psychologist on hand at all times, which I think would be really good for like college athletes and their mental health, which I think would be really fun.
Because mental health is a huge issue
part
right now.
Yeah, especially in college athletics, it's a huge thing. But
yeah,
I think it'd be really cool.
Okay, well, Hailey, thank you very much for coming down.
Thank
and
you.
Were the questions as hard as I maybe led you to be?
No, not really.
Okay. Well, good luck tomorrow night against Montana Tech and Friday night against Rocky Mountain College. Katie, once again, thanks for coming in and visiting. We'll get you back here in a couple of weeks, and hopefully my voice will be able to join us full-fledged. And that'll do it for this edition of Extra Point.
Join Dream Motors and Dillon Video on Saturday, October 30th from 4 to 7 p.m. for Trunk or Treat.